Hi, and welcome to Counseling with Laff Therapy. Today we're working with couples, so please be sure and subscribe and leave a comment. Today's topic for the couples is communication. How can you communicate better and make your relationship stronger? What would you say some of the problems that are facing married couples today are? I'd say one of the biggest problems facing couples today is, first and foremost, finding someone to marry. There's a trend that has been going on over the past 30 years where marriage has been cut in half. People are just not getting married like they used to. Maybe that's because of the new thing they call friends with benefits, or I have no idea. The United States happens to be the number six when it comes to divorces in the world. We rank number 6. Now, 50% of every marriage this year will end in divorce. Abuse is also a problem plaguing marriages today. And I don't mean just physical abuse. I'm talking verbal abuse, emotional abuse. Those are very hurtful. Another problem we have is finances. You can only spread ramen noodles 3 times in 1 week before they begin to be a little conflict in the house. Another problem is when people get married, impulse weddings, infertility, or adultery can affect a marriage. So those are a lot of problems that marriages have to deal with. One of the biggest problems that couples have, and that is communicating with one another. And communicating is basically how you interact with each other. Do you utilize platitudes? When you get up in the morning, do you say, good morning? When you go to bed at night, do you say, good night? Throughout the day, do you communicate? How much time do you spend, quality time, do you spend one-on-one with the person that you love? Like, hello, how are you doing? How was your day? You smell good. What's for dinner? Hey, you want to watch a movie together? Communicate. I don't like that. Would you please not leave your drawers in the bathroom floor? My wife communicated that to me. But communication is probably one of the main reasons why couples either stay together or they break up. You have to learn to communicate. Are there different forms of communication? Of course there is. There's verbal, there's nonverbal, and then there's a new one I call visual. Now, verbal is just saying, hello, good morning, or I'd like this, or that's good. You're verbally communicating. Then there's nonverbal communication, which you can use in a positive way, or it can be used in a negative way. Now, negative nonverbal communication is like, I'm so bored. Yeah, whatever. You need anything? No, I'm good. Are you upset? No, I'm okay. Are you fine? Yeah, I'm fine. See, non-verbally, you're saying, disenchanted. That's like that one song, your poker face, don't show your poker face. Now, you can use non-verbal communication in a positive way, like, or, you can spark that romance with some flirtatiousness. I made that word up, flirtatiousness. That's my wink. See, that was foreplay. You don't want to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and go, hey, baby, let's get ready. You want to start that early in the day. That is nonverbal communication in a positive way. Now, I have the visual communication is what we do now. That's my visual. That's my phone in my face. That's my phone in my face. That's my phone in my face. My visual. Where is my visual most of the day? It is in our phones nowadays. That's where people, when you go eat at the table, or if you eat at the couch, that's where we eat nowadays, at the couch. With your family, are you talking to one another, or is your phone visually in your face? So there are different forms of communication: verbal, nonverbal, and visual. Communication also involves listening. There are different styles of listening. There's the I talk, you listen, you talk, then I listen. That is called the active listening style. I am actively listening and hearing what you're saying. Then there's you talk and I interrupt you all the time. That is called the narcissistic style of listening. Then we have the I disagree with any and everything that you say and become aggressive, and I'm always argumentative with whatever you say. We call that the confrontational style of listening. So there are different styles of listening, and you have to make sure that you're talking to someone who is practicing active listening. If not, it's just a bunch of you're going to have an argument. Why do some people find it hard to communicate? Now that's the question. Some people find it hard to express themselves or to communicate their true feelings because it requires you to connect with your emotions that are deeply rooted in your subconscious. And it leaves you vulnerable to hurt because you're reliving hurt, shame, or embarrassment from your past, and you're bringing these things back up that are hidden in your subconscious, which are unresolved issues. So you don't want to feel vulnerable, so you tend to enact defense mechanisms a lot of times. Instead of communicate with someone, I didn't do that, you defend yourself because you don't want to let your true self come through because it's who you are and you're ashamed or you're embarrassed. So loosen up. Can you use communication as a weapon? Yes, you can use communication as a weapon. One of these tactics is shutting down. It's similar to the straw man tactic that is kin to the red herring, which we'll go over those later. But you will not communicate with your wife, with your spouse, and you just say everything's fine. So rather than dealing with your true emotions, your true feelings, or your true problems, by doing this, you have now weaponized communication or non-communication. Hence the straw man. You can't fight someone who does not fight you back. Or in a relationship, you can't help someone who does not help themselves. Now, when you weaponize communication, you are creating chaos. Some people come from dysfunctional backgrounds with unresolved issues again, and that's all they've ever known. So it's easy to cling to something that you're comfortable with. The new is always strange to you. So you don't want to learn how to do something new. You cling to what is familiar. And sometimes chaos is more familiar than peace. And in the brain, this chaos, people will try to repeat the chaos over and over because inside the brain, chaos allows you to release adrenaline and dopamine. And it makes people who are addicted to chaos, makes them addicted to chaos like a junkie. Now they thrive for it. They're looking for someone to trigger that, or something to trigger that chaos. They're looking for something that they can now throw all of their shame, all of their guilt. They're looking for a target to throw it on. Okay? So don't play those games when you communicate. Don't weaponize communication. In Laff Therapy's couples counseling, we emphasize 4 essential elements in communication. The 4 essential elements of communication are the source. Do you trust the source? Is it reliable? And message. Is the message positive or is it a negative message? And the receiver. Is the person receptive to what you are saying? Is it nonverbal or verbal? Are they, did they really receive your message? And then feedback, active listening. Are they engaged? Those are the 4 essential elements of communication. And in conclusion, Laff Therapy has three things you should always have when you are communicating. Be clear, be considerate, and be courteous. Be clear, be considerate, and be courteous. And let's have a wonderful relationship. Stay tuned for more Laff Therapy.